I woke up feeling like I really don't belong. I can't explain it. When I close my eyes, I see a strange reality. Am I dreaming, or on the edge of remembering? You wake up feeling like you really don't belong. You can't explain it, but when you close your eyes you see familiarity. Are you dreaming, or on the edge of remembering? Who will you be tomorrow? And what are you today?
Okay, darlings, we are back. And I just enjoyed some marzipan almond paste with chocolate with no sugar in it. So I needed that sweetness, just perfect balance. Okay, so first mistake, too thin. Second mistake, I should have used a heavier yarn instead of the fine merino. Now this did not felt completely the way it's supposed to, so we're needle felting it into place. Now this is going to be kind of what we call mood lighting, because the body is black and thick enough, the candlelight inside is not going to show through. Or, yeah, I don't think it's going to be able to show through. But wherever I've got this lighter in Reno, definitely light up. I love making night lights because I love mood lighting. I have excuse me, several in my bedroom with different moods. There's one I want to make for myself that I don't have yet. Actually, I've made it for other people. That is the pink sky garden with a tree in it. Oh, excuse me, I need to heal the opening. It's not nice and smooth, so we're going to give it wet fingers, little olive oil soap. And stuff it because I'm going to have to wash the soap out. I'm going to have to stuff it again. Good. First things first. Now you can make this felt just by continually handling it. You don't need water or soap. But if you're into felting, you'll renew that. Soap and water make it much easier. Okay, that's our weak spot right there. We're going to put the orange. I could needle felt it, but I'd rather have that opening to let more light out. And I guess I don't have a candle on my table today. Must have went back into the bedroom. Okay. So we're done with that for the moment. Probably work on it tomorrow to finish it off. Excuse me, because it's going to go into the bingo donation table. So it'll be poofier, but what I'm trying to do is get this lip to stand up a little more. We'll work that after the whole thing's been wet again. And make sure that this skeleton takes. Oh, I got a nice dense felting there. Yeah, that method definitely gives you a lot more texture and bounciness. So we'll see how much we can stretch that without destroying this. So always chancing. After we soak this again to get the soap out. Okay, yeah, over there. Oh, I can be neat again. So today is Friday, the weekend eve, and excuse me, our state right now, like New York, And other areas around here are like ozone, ground level ozone is creating a breathing hazard. So don't go out. Also with the heat index, it's 103 right now here. I ain't going nowhere. Nor will I have anybody deliver anything because that's just crueling. I mean, there's nothing I can't live without for the weekend. I look at the weather, I'm prepared. Okay, so I'm going to try making some more little hearts. I see a message. Ah, Doc will be here in half an hour. He's in the garden. Okay. This stuff feels so much like, well, like a luxury scarf or something. It feels weird to cut it like it's a bad thing. Like, no, after all that, but you saw me. It was easy to do. This merino is just so luscious, so soft. Okay. This time we're going to open it at the top. Mm. Nay. Need a better brain. Yes, the air is getting to me a little bit today. Well, that's probably my favorite green. I used this in my flower purse. Yeah, very dense. What's the love? More of this. Oh yeah, this is a nice one too. So pretty. Okay. My friend Maureen says she's open to keeping me company and making what felt a bookmark while I work on a larger project for which there's no room on my table. Even if I cleared every single thing off this table, just would not be long enough. We have some wool in the same family. It's that pink little heart. I can't wait for the festival. I have to practice going up and down the stairs. So I can handle the walking. I might need more holes than that. Well, I can say, although I'm not allergic to wool, my eyes definitely have reactions to whatever some of the wool is carrying. So right now my eyes have started itching. want that nice, warm glow. I'm gonna make sure I know where the bottom of this is. So I cut the hole in the top appropriately. And then use a little yellow. That's it. Super fine. Should be doing this, I guess, on top of plastic, but I'll just pick it up very carefully. Removing the extra static right now. I didn't take an allergy pill yesterday. It's like little brush strokes. Alice! Hello, darling. How's Riri today? Doc messaged from the garden. He'll be here in about a half an hour or so. Oh, we've got something coming in right now. What we have is high ozone levels and unsafe breathing conditions. Also, outside it's 103. But that's with the index. Without it, I think it's 93. But with the humidity, it'd be nice to have a storm break it up. Are you getting the floods? Because I know there's a lot of that going around right now too. Did you live in the country? I didn't look you up on Google Maps, so I don't know what kind of area you're in. Winter Dream. Hello, my darling. Oh dear, from the storms? How's my favorite poetess? I hope that your weather and all that is better than ours right now, but you know what it's like to have terrible heat. The Winter Dream. What a wonderful name. That's like what I'm working on now. I could see it being very much you. I could be wrong, but when I think of you, the light in the darkness that you are, there's a softness to you. That's what makes things hurt sometimes. And in this lamp, there is a softness I want to achieve in the light. Ah, ah. So my friend in Alabama is tornado weather, and right now I'm okay because my air conditioner is only 2 feet away. Um, my bedroom is close to 80. I am making a night light or a mood light because honestly, I don't leave them going on all night, but I have a bunch of them in my room that I make with different moods because the different lights. Oh, I know. I feel for you, Manal. But I wanted menopause since 9 years old when I found out what a period was. And it did not come soon enough for me. I was 51 by the time they declared it officially menopause. I was so disappointed. Where were you? I could have used you 10 years ago. But hey. So what you can't see right now, but you will when I have to flip it onto some plastic to actually work on it. This is going to be a vessel like this. A little bigger, closer to this, which is not good. We'll see this tomorrow. I'm not happy with it, but I'll make it acceptable tomorrow. Oh yes, I'm familiar with that. You know, my periods were absolute hell. By the time I was 16, there were 11 days long. But when I was 18, 19, somewhere in there, I went on the birth control pill. I didn't stay on it because I felt, well, if I'm not active, you know, I don't need to take it. But I was on it for 9 months and it fixed my period. Instead of going 11 days, it made it 6, which was a lot better because, yeah, the first 4 days of an 11-day run was, yeah, I don't even know how people work with that kind of pain. I mean, I know how we work because I did, and I know you have it as well. That sucks too. Oh, you went early from chemo. That's right, you beat breast cancer. Nope. By the time I went on this chemo, I was already 9 years into menopause. So the thing was that, you know, I had like 10 years of really bad hot flashes, which fortunately only happens to half of the women. Not everybody goes through that. My mother did not. My mother was very lucky in that. She swore that she didn't even notice. My sisters begged to differ. They said, oh, yes, she went through menopause. Trust us. She was a bitch. She doesn't remember it, but we do. I wasn't there. As far as I'm concerned, as long as it works, it checks in with you 3 days, it should come, go. It's like, yep, okay, everything's still working, we're fine, good, move on. Anything more than 3 days should be illegal. But after I went through all of that, you know, like women our age often do, I at 60, I got the blood cancer thing, which is more properly known as a myeloproliferative neoplasm, but blood cancer for short. It comes with hot flashes, night sweats. So I wasn't really sure when I started having too much blood. I did not know. I thought it was anxiety, and for some reason still having those menopausal symptoms. Had a blood test, you know, told all. Okay, so we have a one way. I want to make sure I've got the right layers here. Okay, we're going to flip this. Yeah. You don't need a large piece of plastic for this. Okay, so now you can see what's hidden. I made this felt and cut out little hearts. And when this is done, the vessel will be cut at the top here. Let's put that down a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Oh, I'm more proud of Riri Alice because she had something that needed to be removed. Mine is an ongoing chronic condition that they don't have any kind of cure for. But as long as I stay on the chemo, and other things you watch for, so far so good. I tolerate the drug okay. I take all the precautions that I have to, like exposure to sun. Watch out for getting cuts. The hydroxyurea makes your skin extremely vulnerable. So, yeah. Anyway, it is what it is. You just keep going, right? I'm honestly, given what I have, I'm one of the lucky ones. I say that sincerely. There are 4 kinds of MPNs, and I have, I'm going to say at least deadly. It's the rarest of the 4 forms, but it could be worse by 3 more kinds of forms. So, yeah, I'm really lucky. I am. Okay, so we got this, and now I'm going to flip it again because you work from the back in so that you don't displace all of this. After everything is wetted down, I flip it over and do the other side. Exactly. Well, I think Mary Tyler Moore wrote a book about her experience with breast cancer, and she said, first you cry. And you know what? I didn't cry at my diagnosis. I knew something serious was wrong, but I couldn't get any medical help until we got the Affordable Health Care Act. And my very first visit to the doctor, I knew there was something wrong. I knew I was going to hear something bad. I didn't know what it was. But sure enough, my very first blood test was just your general ground level blood test. It showed that I had almost 1 million platelets, which is definitely not right. And you know how it is. You get a diagnosis and everybody leaps into action, fulfilling all the protocols they have for it, and on and on you go. I did not cry. Actually, I organized a nice dinner out for 2 of my friends and my now ex-husband. I said, you know what? We're going to celebrate my birthday a few days late because my birthday was this week and this is the news I got. So I saved up money to take everybody out, and we went and had a beautiful Italian dinner. So there's no time to cry. I think that's the best thing to do, right? Yeah, first you feel bad, but I've had, well, like Alice, you know where I come from. Um, I'm really lucky that my first 4 years were really good and peaceful and secure and safe, aside from my grandparents hating each other's guts. Um, I had a good grounding to start, and I think that's really essential in helping set our psyches. But then I was left alone so much that I developed a really deep spiritual inner life, you can say, and that helped me stay grounded through all kinds of crap. But I watched adults freaking out really badly over what was going on with me. It's like, and how else that's happening to me, and you're the one freaking out. Can you just chill out? Do you see me freaking out? I'm chill. Let's just deal with this. I'm very practical because I got this idea in my head very young that self-pity is necessary, but no more than 24 hours. So I used to have you got 24 hours to feel bad for yourself, and then you pick your ass back up. Because you got to find something to do, and you can't waste your time crying. You know, it's done, it's done, past is past, you got to move on. But then when I got older, I gave myself 48 hours for self-pity when I started feeling bad about other more grown-up things. And I think that you should give yourself grieving time. That's part of the healing process. You have to grieve the crap that's happened to you. Or, I mean, because let's face it, the shit that happens when you're a kid, nobody asks for it. No child comes into the world saying, hit me, beat me, sex me, poison me, whatever. Nobody comes into the world asking for that. But as we learn what we like, you know, we say, well, this really sucks and I don't want that ever again. You also don't want it for people you care about. So the world grows a little better because of what you've been through and what you're able to now share with people. You've come through the other side. You've done the crying. You've learned that laughter serves you way better. When they say laughter is the best medicine, that's not an exaggeration. Laughter and gratitude. But even more than gratitude, so gratitude is tricky because sometimes when you're being grateful, you're really thinking about what you're grateful to have that you didn't have, and your mind goes back to what you didn't have and why you're grateful, when really what you need to do is get yourself into an attitude of appreciation, appreciating what you have in the moment, because sometimes that might just be a can of beans for dinner. You know, I mean, we have days or nights that, well, we can't necessarily predict right away. So shit happens. But if you dwell on it being shitty, it's always shittier. So always work to get yourself back out of it. But don't short shrift yourself. You need to take time to feel bad. If you don't take time to feel bad, it's like you have all the sympathy and empathy for other people, but none for yourself. And then it's kind of hollow. You need to fill yourself back up so you can give more. And that means appreciating everything you've been through, appreciating that you're a survivor, that, yeah, you were a victim at certain points, but then you learned how to survive that and come out victorious to create and plot, plan, dream about something better. So it's that's something that we have to do as humans. From wherever we start. Some days are easier than others. Some days you don't want to get out of bed. There are days I don't feel like getting out of bed. I don't have many of them, I'm glad to say, but there have been a few days this year, and it wasn't because I was depressed or anything like that. It was like, you know, I'm just in bed right now and I'm enjoying my tea. And then I enjoyed my orange, and then I enjoyed my protein biscuits, and then I thought, I'm going to make breakfast and bring it to bed. And I went back to bed with my breakfast, and I put on a movie. I ended up sitting in bed watching a movie and munching out, and I just took all pressure off myself, reminding myself that I'm 72, I'm retired. Fuck it. How much do I have to do? I'm square with the Lord, if you want to put it that way. We're pals. And this is full of yarn, but luckily it's the same color. So we're going to go ahead and use this. Yeah, I'm going to have to, I wish I could sew. But I'm doing this because I can sew. This knitting just is amazing for knitting. I mean, it just threads this stuff like it's made for it. The universe is us, and it knows all the time. And I'm glad that you found me again. It's funny. Even if our childhood memories are a little warped because we don't remember correctly, we do go back and get comfort and strength from the people that we knew as kids, people that inspired us. All of that is important. I remember Mindy, when we were 15, I went to visit her after she had to go back with her mother in Brooklyn. And it was not a nice scene. In fact, she was in the group home because the state felt she needed a chance to be a kid. So they sent her to Mount Vernon, where we were, so she could kind of live a normal kid life for a little while. But then she had to go back because her mother couldn't handle raising the rest of her siblings. And so she went back. And at 15 years old, she was finishing school, high school, taking care of her younger kids, taking care of her mother, and working at a cash register in a grocery store. And I visited her for a weekend, or at least, I think it was the whole weekend. And we did it was summer, it was hot as hell in Brooklyn. Oh my God, it was terrible. Couldn't stay in that horrible little apartment. It was so tiny and tight, and couldn't breathe. We went out in the streets and were silly kids. But I watched her work, and I hung out while she worked behind a register. Now, and she wanted to be a doctor, by the way. Her aspirations were quite high, but there was basically no money for that kind of thing. She needed to take care of the family first. So she did. But then, years later, long after we lost track of each other, actually only a few years, my head went to her. It was like, you know what? If Mindy can do it, I can do it. Look at her. She is doing all of this. I have never had to take care of half the stuff that she's had to deal with. So that made me feel stronger because I looked up to her. And she had no clue, of course, but she sacrificed her childhood, not willingly, but she did it because she felt it was the right thing to do, was take care of her family. But she's got what's left of the family. They're extremely loving and loyal, and I'm so glad that they're there for her. Oh yeah, I like all kinds of music. It just depends on my mood at the time. Hold on, let me take a screenshot of that because I can't look it up right now. And if you emailed me, I'm sorry that I didn't see it yet because I have not been going to email every day. Okay, let me hold on to this. Come on, give me a screenshot, thank you. No, I don't need the volume. I'm so not good with these things. I'm still trying just to get a stupid screenshot. Sometimes I take plenty and it's no problem, but today it just, I'll get it. I could have just gone and looked her up. It's not doing it. I'm going to get a piece of paper. Write it down. I am compiling my listen to music for the background while I'm writing Namaris 3. Oh, there's my English muffin recipe. Oh, okay. There we go. What's the name of the album? It's like her newest one. I ended up getting something from Substack today that wasn't you. I was like, when did I sign up for this? Why am I getting things from Substack? I do not belong to anything. But apparently I did. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, those are good. I didn't know you liked opera. I was thinking of La Boheme this morning. And Jethro Tull. I like the Beast and the Broadsword. Is it? I can't remember now. Anyway, yeah. You seem pretty sad for a girl's love album. You seem pretty sad for a girl so in love. Girls have all the reason in the world to be sad. Girl so in love. Yeah, that's a good line for a song. Thank you. I will look it up later. I've been very slow with my email because to get all of my email properly, I have to go on my desktop. My Kindle email, it doesn't see things different. It's the same. It's got a different filter. Some spam gets through that doesn't even show up when I go to the desktop. So when I get stuff on the Kindle, I don't recognize it. I'm very dubious. I mean, I know you, but that's not where I look at your stuff, right? You send it to me. I will tell you no. Do you have a favorite opera, Riri? I would say if I had to pick a genre, what I've been listening to a lot in the most recent few years are musicals, old musicals. I love old musicals. So I mean, like Fred Astaire and all that back then. Gene Kelly, Judy Garland. And there are two new musicals, or fairly new. Well, they're newer to me than most people. I don't subscribe to any TV things, but Doc saw Schmigadoon and Schmicago. And I can tell you the music is fabulous. It's very funny as well as some drama, but they're like Broadway shows, and they use inspiration from all these old Broadway shows. And so they're really good if you ever come across them. But Doc turned me on to the music, so I went on YouTube and I've heard every song in both of them, and you can kind of get an idea of what's going on in that storyline, but you have to see it. Well, it depends on the opera. Oh, really? Well, I'd say the one I listened to most was La Boheme growing up, and Die Fledermaus, which is more of a funny story than me caring about the music. And some stuff I just really enjoyed. If you can sit there with the libretto so you can see the translation. If I can't read the translation, I mean, I'll listen, but I need to know what they're saying. It's just my brain not wanting to turn off. I have been listening to this. Sundays. Is that a group? I'm trying to see. Uh, no, I never heard of them other than ice cream Sundays and weekend Sundays. Maybe I didn't realize. How did I not know that? That you come from a family of musicians. I guess because it was usually just you and me, not the rest of your family. Occasionally, your little brother Andy, but he was always background because he was so much younger. Or at least that's how it felt when we were little. Because I've got no idea. How old is he really? I mean, how many years younger is he? Is he as young as it felt? The rock band. Oh, I'm surprised I haven't heard of them. And then again, in 97, no, 97, I was down on the farm. I wouldn't have heard of anybody. The only way I was getting information in 97 was if somebody mailed us some movies to watch on our VCR because we didn't get television. Oh, no. Okay, let's oh, there it is. That's good. I know I washed and dried these. Where are they? That's really close. gonna move this just a little. Too close. You're too close. Ah. Okay. Mm, you. You're okay. You. One angle like that. Okay. So that's okay. That's gonna be the bottom. So I do want it to be a little stiffer right there. Air bubbles not allowed. Okay. Let me see. Going to the upper rescinded. Oh. Oh, no. Now that rings a bell. And he's 66. So he is quite a bit younger than us. I just remember, when we were 15, 14, somewhere in there, between that 12 to 15. Yeah, he just seemed like a little butterball and yeah, like 6 years old or something. I know Judy, well, Diana's 3 years younger, Lisa's 5 years younger, and Judy's 7 years younger. And of course, when you hit puberty, anything younger is just, I don't want to hang out with them. They're too young. I don't want to babysit. It's not babysitting. Just take your sister. That's so cool that you got to experience Harlem back then. The only thing I did with my father in Harlem was drive through it. Dad was more into the village. He used to go there. That's where he found Mel Brooks and Carl Reiner doing their comedy stuff. And he bought their albums and taught me about them. So yeah. Greenwich Village was Dad's thing. So of course that's why I took you there. If only we'd been more savvy, huh? Just your normal, average, innocent child back then. Okay, let's get that yellow. Now the yellow doesn't really show as yellow, as you'll see. It's just to add a little orange hue to all the pink. Something different. We were. Those were good days to be innocent. It was strange later to have adults accuse me of more adult things than I was doing. You know what I mean? It's like, huh? I don't know what you were talking about. Because despite experiences, you know, still very innocent, naive, and I was definitely that. So, yeah, being a teenager was hard. I have, I'm really glad that I lived the life I've left, and left, lived and left. I'm glad I got out to California. You know, a decade out there was very educational. And I got to experience things that could only be experienced if you were in California. And then down the farm in North Carolina, ditto. You can't imagine what it's really like to live out in the middle of nowhere unless you have lived out in the middle of nowhere. Face all the things that people out in the middle of nowhere face. Okay, we weren't innocent, but we were overall extremely innocent. We didn't know what the hell we were doing. We were making jokes about things, but we really didn't understand much past that it was a joke. It was like at the age when if you said the word fuck, it would mean, you know, punishment. You didn't get away with cussing. I didn't get away with cussing. Well, until my father. It was really hard for them to not allow me to cuss because of their mouths. Oddly enough, my stepmother had a great fear of saying cuss words because of her Catholic upbringing. But she was in therapy, and one of her exercises was to practice using profanity to get over the stigma that she was boxed in by. And it was pretty funny because it's kind of like once you let the cork out of the bottle. So she was using it, he was using it. So when I used it, it was like they were caught in that parent, like, oh shit, we know why we're using it, but are we supposed to let her use cuss words? Are we supposed to train her out of that? They didn't really know what to do. So I developed a mouth as bad as theirs. But then I got a grip on it. I was married to first husband. He wasn't like that. Then I married second husband, and he was worse than everybody combined. And my vocabulary went right down the drain. I am working on getting it back and trying not to rely on profanity. And Alice, at our age, we had crushes on everybody. I mean, I don't know how many boys I crushed on or stars, even if it was just brief. I mean, in sixth grade, I went out. I was going steady with every single boy in the sixth grade before the end of the semester and had no clue what that meant because I never kissed any of them. And most of them, I hadn't even held their hands. So, you know, we felt so grown up for sixth grade, but, you know, for sixth grade. Yep, oh, they're my favorite tweezers. Yeah, at that age, we were still, what was that game? Spin the bottle was the only way to get kissed without being considered a slut. Not always easy to arrange that, is it? Okay, we can pick up some of this water. We have plenty. Well, I don't know how hard I really crushed because I didn't really know what it meant. I think it was just, I was hormonal really early in life. I mean, I remember being attracted to boys when I was 4 years old. And nobody wanted to give me piano lessons if they were a male because I wanted to marry them. Wow. Wow. There's nothing wrong with not having a crush. Crushing is not a phenomenon known by everybody. You're not surrounded by a whole lot of inspiration in your male population at this point. So, you know, I can see that. Whereas we grew up with cartoons and everything telling us you're supposed to be matched up. You're supposed to, or like even shows showing girls having crushes on boys. You know, it was kind of instilled in us that you're supposed to do that. And I wasn't really like that with most things, but then again, I would get, when I was little, I had a crush on Mighty Mouse, a cartoon. And then I had a crush on Johnny Weissmuller, Tarzan, and Zorro. Oh, I understand. I was like that during the Beatles. I could not relate to the crushes my classmates had on the Beatles. I thought they were really acting dumb. And the ultimate stupid was at the lunchroom one day, one of the girls in the lunchroom who was part of the cute clique, which I was not part of, was showing off a bracelet, a silver bracelet with a name on it. And the name was Linda. And it's like, your name isn't Linda. I still remember as Linda because there's, and why are you wearing Linda? Because Paul McCartney married Linda, and I want to marry Paul McCartney. And she stole that bracelet. She was proud of it. She shoplifted. That was the first time I heard girls boasting about stealing things, which normally we were ashamed of. So it was weird. But she was, that was it, you know. Oh, and then I think I got a birthday present. My party was around, I don't know, I guess it was around the crush time for other girls. I was not crushing on anybody famous like that. So a lot of stuff was just really weird to me. I was more of a chemistry there was chemistry that I started feeling very early on without having a clue what that was about. Capital of the Cherokee Nation. Wow. My second husband has Cherokee blood on both sides of his family, but not close enough for it to matter to him. Good looking dude. So how long did you live on that? That's intense. What an adventure you have had. How long were you with your first husband? I know I'm asking personal questions. You don't have to answer them just because I'm asking. We are in a public place, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but now I'm extremely curious because all those years we were not in contact. Manal, if I were where you are with the laws you live with, I would be completely disgusted by men. You're normal. I would say the biggest crush I ever had in my life, and I mean, even then, I've got to qualify it. It was during COVID. I was on warfarin after a heart incident where I had 6 months of recovery ahead of me. And I fell hard at age 65. My first major crush at 65 years old with a star I will never meet, Rick Moranis. And it wasn't like I ever met him. It was, I read his lyrics. I didn't even know he was a musician or a songwriter. When I read his lyrics to his album, um, oh God, it was about his brisket, my mother's brisket. My mother's brisket. It was about growing up Jewish. And it was like, oh my God, this is my life. And we're only a year apart age-wise. So a lot of it was like, oh my. And that's what happened. And it wouldn't have happened at all, except I had an old friend who was a little nuts. And she tried to convince me while I was in the hospital that he was my soulmate. And that if I did not write to him, she would. And the whole conversation, which was in writing, by the way, because we were chatting on Kindle, the whole conversation was so insane. I wrote a song. It was almost word for word our conversation. Oh, yes, but the body calls us, doesn't it? Working at a carnival. Yeah, I've heard a lot of that. South End, East End, all the Asian women are kind of sick of men at this point, I believe. The Korean women have a way of dealing with it now. Was it the 4K or something? It's like no makeup, no sex, no fancy clothes. We're not, and no sex, go away until you grow up and act like a human. We don't want anything to do with you. And I totally understand. I love that we've had such wild adventures while we're here. All the different experiences to, oh my God, you're a walking book. It could be. It could be. I think it depends on where in the world you are at the time you say that. Lucas countries arcade. No. Who was that? The 4B, that's it. Yeah, I get it. Wow. Wow, Alice, no clue about that. So what happened that kept you from ever getting together? Was it just not a mutual crush, or was he married to somebody else? Since we were 12 years old. So what's that? 60 years? We were in, oh my God. Which school did we meet in? Did we meet in William H. Holmes School or Traphagen? I moved to Melbourne in the middle of 5th grade, just before my birthday, just before I was 11. So I turned 11 in Mount Vernon. Hold on, let me show you something. Hold on, get this wetness out of the way. That's me. That's what I looked like, approximately what I looked like when I met Alice. That's Diana, that's Lisa, that's the Reverend Ralph Abernathy, and these are his 3 older kids. She turned into an opera singer, moved to Germany. I had no idea. Wait, who's Alan? No, we fell out of touch for years. Matter of fact, I've disappeared for about 30 years. Aw, thanks. Hey, Doc. Aloha. Yep. Yep, that's it. Older brother. Sorry, Alice. I'm lucky I remember my sisters. So Maui, how does your garden grow today? Yeah, well, I'm loving that our adventures were so different that I was caught up in legal battles at 16, and because things were so complicated and I was fighting to put police behind bars, it was better for everybody that I disappeared. So, because the police did not want me talking about one of their brothers in arms, much less trying to put him in jail. And so it was a good idea just to cut off communications that might lead to other people being dragged in on something that they had nothing to do with. Snail hunting. Ah, you. That is snail hunting, right? Yeah. Is that herding or hunting? You just going out there and calling them names? You're slimy. Did I hurt your feelings? Speedy snails. Oh, where am I getting all the black wool? Oh, right there on the desk. This is why having a large studio is a good thing. And I don't have that. I believe that we come here in waves, that we come here with our friends to support them because we forget who we are when we come into this world. And in that forgetfulness, things can get very frightening and lonely. So it's good to connect. I I have never met Mr. Gary or Doc, not in person. However, they've been following me for 19 years. I just had my 19th anniversary online, August 4th. So for 19 years, a handful of people have traveled with me from channel to channel as I change channels and do my shows elsewhere. Every time I move, I do lose some people and gain new ones. But in general, I think that's a good thing. Those who are the oldest and part of my soul group, if you want to call it that, they always reappear, and everybody else, well, you know how the show is. It's always been about getting people to be engaged in their own lives, to look for ways to be happy. And I don't want people ever thinking that they need to come here for that. I mean, I want to encourage and share love and all that. I just don't want people feeling like I expect you to be here just because I'm online. I'm on a lot, and I'd rather hear at times, that you're going on with your own life's adventure, especially if you're a kid, like Edgar or Charlie. They're young people. They need to be not on the internet so much as out there making their own lives happen, because it's an exciting planet we're on. I know there's a lot of shit going on, but sometimes we create that for the contrast. It helps us define better what we want in the future. And that benefits generations, multiple generations. Everything's not just about us. I know. Oh, Doc is being funny. Sinatra said, "That's life." That's a good one. Yep. So sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. But if you look toward the sun, you know, you keep getting back up. And that's the thing about all of us here. We've been through shit. We've been through good stuff. But, you know, we've come from all that and we're doing better now. I don't believe any of us would want to go backward. You would not stop singing that, huh? So, what's his mental health issue? And as I'm feeling this felting, I am recognizing a problem right off the bat. It's too thin. It's normal amount of wool. It's 3 layers. The problem is it's with 3 layers of merino wool. And merino is not bulky. Merino is super soft and delicate. And it's lovely against the skin. But it doesn't stand up on its own. It's soft. So I'm going to end up having to starch this because it's too late to add a chunky layer. So he was giving you a serenade, huh? Excuse me. That's code for my neighbor. Oh, great. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was thinking. You want my other one? Well, let me check. I gotta go down. It's okay. Guys, I'll be back in a minute. Before I say hi to everybody. Yeah, I will. Oh, the bingo was what I made. Wow.
Oh, wow. That's pretty for
Bingo table.
man, oh man, everybody's gonna go for that.
I hope so.
Everybody will go for that.
Well, maybe they'll be the first one.
Hi, okay. Hi, hi Terry. How you doing?
I'm a documentary role, so I'm gonna go back to work. My neighbor to the rescue. I see what you're saying. He looked like he escaped ZZ Top. Oh my God, one of them. Oh. In your case, that is a definite type. It's not like half the people down south. No offense, Southern men, but honestly, I've seen a lot of Southern men with the big beards, but not in Hawaii. Well, did it at least have a good voice? If it does that again, it comes around again. Join him. Start doing harmony. It'll either make him delighted and you'll have fun for a few minutes, or it'll piss him off because he wanted to be a solo artist and he'll walk away. Okay, we're going to take the chance and open this up now. I think we got it. All right. I hope this worked. Some of those layers do not look like they're completely felted in there. I think we're just going to do this a little longer. Oh, my darling. Well, you know, although it's reserved just for Charlie, I'm going to share it with you. Sweet dreams be yours, dear, if dreams there be. I'll be back tomorrow. Hope to see you at 3. Feel good, my darling. I love you too. You heard he sang it 5 times. Okay, how much alcohol did he drink? The only time I can sing the same song over and over is if I've had a few too many. I always feel like singing when I'm loaded. Just a fact. That is annoying as hell, though. Doc has some of the strangest characters around his building now. And what happened to the other guy that likes to sing? The one that's autistic? He was giving you serenading. He was serenading you in the garden for a while, right? He memorized all the old tunes around that time. Yeah, it's a good thing you walked away. You'd think if he memorized so many, he could have done more than one song over and over. Oh dear. This guy? Oh, take those out later. He is forced on painting now? What do you mean? I don't understand that one. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, he's not doing that outside, is he? kind of stuff is he painting? Do they look like something, or do they all come across as Rorschach tests? Okay, we're getting some shrinkage. We have a coloring circle here, a creative circle. We do different things, but we all do our own thing, like whatever I happen to be working on, if I can take it down to the table and not take up everybody's room like this, then I do. Sometimes just coloring because there's not really much room to do much else. But this one woman who apparently appreciates me, which is sweet, she tried to gift me one of her colorings. And I had to explain, and I hate saying it, it's like, I'm not rejecting your art or you, but I literally don't have a place for my own artwork. I'm giving it away. I've got it on the walls, or I can't, there's no place for me to put anything. This is just a little teeny apartment. And my hobbies are taking up everything. Because one of the women, she already made me a hat and a matching purse in aquamarine, bright and happy. But she wanted to make me this big, she's making these crocheted gnomes for Christmas for everybody. It's like, don't make one for me. You already gifted me with a hat and a purse. If I can't use it or hang it up on the wall, there's no place for it, literally. I'm trying to clear off my shelf behind me so I can put my plants for food. So I hate telling people no. I don't want them to think I'm ungrateful for their willingness to give me a gift, but I really don't have room for gifts. Paint by numbers. Oh, okay, so you have one of your slower neighbors visiting you, is what it really is. He's stuck on that song. He's in a groove. He's probably on the scale. But it's great that he's doing that. It's a good place for people to start, paint by numbers. I liked them when I was a kid. I just didn't like that they were all oil paints. And oil paints for little kids is not a great idea. But my friend Maureen started with that paint by number kind of thing. But now she is, thanks to a lot of encouragement, she's trying different things, different mediums. And she's getting more in the creative spirit. It's great to see. Now, today, the subject at the table, there's many, but one of them today was about how we move on from the past, how our past, doesn't matter what they are, but you have all this momentum behind a thought or a pattern, and it's very hard to override that momentum. So she was saying, I went to therapy to learn different ways of thinking. I said, exactly. That's exactly what it's for. So you don't get stuck doing the same things or expecting the same things, and you get yourself in these bad grooves because no one's showing you that there's a way out. But it's like back when we started Intuitive, the principle was nobody is going to find one exercise, one mental help, or one trick that's going to be useful every day. Nothing. You can say, I'll meditate every day, and that is a good practice, but you can't meditate the same meditation every day because after a while it just doesn't do anything. Your mind wanders in the wrong direction. It doesn't work. You have to have multiple coping tools in your self-help toolbox. Today may be a meditation, a visual meditation is perfect for you, and it looks great. You have a wonderful trip. And the next day you just cannot get there. You're scattered, you're nervous, or you're just, antsy and you can't sit still. So that's a good day to do a walking meditation. You take your butt outside for a few minutes and just walk around the house or the neighborhood. Or I can't do that here because there aren't enough sidewalks. It's not safe to walk around my place. Not because of people, but because of no sidewalks and speeding cars. But when I really just need to get out, I take a bus to the casino. I have a choice of two, but I go to the closest one. It's smaller. And I can walk around for hours. And I don't have to worry about anybody bothering me. I go and say hello to the shop owners. I have myself a cup of coffee and a donut or lunch. And I take myself out just to get out. I do that at the casino probably 2 or 3 times a year because it's convenient. And like especially in the winter, you don't have to worry about the bad weather. I have a little soap. I haven't been, the last ones I made were for the woman who burned me. I did hundreds of little soaps for her daughter's wedding. And then she did a nasty thing that just blew my mind. So I haven't done any soap since then. But also I saved some molds. I saved some of my favorite oils because they're pricey. So if I have a reason to make a bar of soap, I still have enough soap that I can do that. But it's expensive now because your base materials cost so much to ship. Sesame Street soap opera. Actually, that's fitting. That's very fitting. Yeah. There's only one other woman in this building who's got a mouth as big as me. Actually, her mouth is bigger than mine, and she's louder. But doesn't matter how loud she is, if she lets out with some bullshit, and I happen to be there, my mouth gets louder because I just don't tolerate bullshit, especially if there's any racism involved. I will not tolerate racism in my midst. I can't control people, but you better not express it around me because you'll be on my shit list. So that happened this morning, actually, where I did have to tell the louder person in no uncertain terms how important it is to look at other people's cultures and understand where people come from and not just be so, stupid. Oh, you see it all around, but I won't tolerate it in my midst. I won't have anybody talking about other people because of whatever. And I'm a child of the 60s. My father was a civil rights freaking leader. You just don't say certain things around me without getting some kickback. So, yeah, I'm vocal. But I don't look for trouble, of course. This is my home. I want it to be peaceful. And when I go to do my laundry or take care of the garden or do anything else like that, I don't want to have to dread bumping into somebody, you know? It's like, no, I'll make sure that we leave on good grounds, you know, but I'm never going to agree with you on this subject, that kind of thing. Because you got to get along. I mean, this building has, like, there's about 500 people altogether that go in and out of this place. But it should be far less. It's just we've got some families. But most of the apartments are single people. But, you know, you get over 100 apartments, you're going to have lots of different personalities involved. You're not going to get along with every one of them. I mean, if you do, then I got to wonder what kind of mentality you have. Some people I don't want in my midst. But other than that, I'm pretty much live and let live. Okay. So it's very soapy right now, but that did work. The hearts are part of the fabric, and they don't feel really any different than the rest of the fabric. So that worked beautifully. That's our back. This will be a little better after it is all washed and further shrunk with some hot water. So this is going to be a little lantern. Put a little light inside that. And it's going to glow this beautiful pink. This is a gorgeous pink. Uh-oh, it's very thin right there. I don't like that. Don't tell me I did that again. I may have to make a repair there. I have the know-how. Okay, but it has to still go through this. This silly little action is called fulling. I did not hear anybody fully explain it other than it's what you're supposed to do. I think it's to help loosen up the fibers and kind of give them more permission to cling to each other. If you want to make this much more dense and hard without the use of a starch, you can actually drum on it. It needs to be hit. It needs to be rubbed. And then it just gets tighter and tighter until it does reach a point where it doesn't seem to want to do much more. I did a lamp like that, lantern like that. All right, some of those hairs are gonna probably just wash out. All right, so let's see how we did. I will need to make a new one of these because it bent so much. I now have a couple little sharp edges that weren't there before. You definitely don't want those because I think that's what poked a hole in this as I was working it. But you can see where it is shrinking away from the original size. So it still has some ways to go here. But we'll see it tomorrow. It should curl up a little bit more like this thing, which did not come out the way I was kind of hoping, but it was an experiment. But I think after I put a light inside of it, it's all gonna be like coming out the top of it. It'll look kind of spooky, like Halloweeny. This is just sweet. I wanted some of these colors in my bedroom. It just looks really pretty when it's lit up. Yes, Sly Stone. You and I were dancing to that. Oh my God. That's right. The year that came out, I think you turned me on to it because I wasn't allowed to have a radio. So I heard some cool Motown at your place. And I don't know what happened. I wasn't allowed a radio, but I did have records. And my stepsister gave me a stack of, I guess, what was kind of cool at that time. But again, I wasn't like into the Beatles, but I got some Beatles and should have been Rolling Stones. That would have been up my alley more. But I listened to everything. My Firebird Ballet. I mean, Four Seasons and the Four Tops. Have you heard Sison sing? Que sera, sera? I sang that at my mother's funeral. And everybody sang with me. See, when I was little, you know how kids ask their parents everything under the sun, including why is the sun? Actually, that's why I liked, who was that guy that turned out to be a pervert, but he was great with kids? Not a pervert with kids, just a pervert. Bill Cosby. I had a couple of his albums, and he was really funny and good for kids. But as an adult, he sucked, yeah. But anyway, my mom would answer questions with that song. It's like, Mom, que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. Only not as good. And that was her answer for everything. And it was extremely frustrating. Because by then I'd had to call my father up to ask him questions, and he was usually busy and did not want to do the phone thing or answer questions of a 6 or 7-year-old child. So, Que Sera Sera, actually, as much as I always liked the song, it was kind of a thorn in my side. And the night before the funeral, like literally around midnight, I was inspired. That was going to be my tribute to my mother. That was going to finally, I was going to freaking sing for her, and nobody would shut me up. And I got everything set. I mean, at midnight, I'm printing out the lyrics to take to the funeral the next morning. And I start singing, and suddenly this man in front of me starts falling off his chair. Oh, well, I can always, I only subscribe right now to Netflix, and I'm just waiting for the 3rd season of Wednesday before I cancel that. I just don't see, I don't sit down and watch TV enough to make it worth spending money on it. Que Sera Sera was Doris Day. No, Doris Day? No. There was another white blonde lady. Not Debbie Reynolds. Damn, who was it? Riri. She went out with Burt Reynolds. Dinah Shore. Dinah Shore, I believe, sang that in a movie. It's a good song. What will be will be. Que sera, sera. It's just not a good answer for a child. Yeah, I think it was Dinah Shore. Well, let's ask. Who made the song Que Sera Sera famous? Doris Day. She introduced it in the 1956 Alfred Hitchcock film The Man Who Knew Too Much, where her performance helped the track win an Academy Award for Best Original Song. Day sings the tune to her kidnapped son to signal her location. It became Doris Day's signature song and a massive global hit. I thought it was Dinah Shore. And I never saw The Man Who Knew Too Much. So now we know. Oh, Eartha Kitt was great. Did you ever see her in the movie Eric the Viking, where she plays the goddess Freya? Oh man, she was just perfect as the goddess. She was also perfect as a Catwoman. But the goddess Freya was great. Yeah, Eric the Viking. Excellent movie. Very Monty Python. Matter of fact, it's got a lot of Monty Python people in it. Okay, so we've got two things to wash. That's going to be stretched out tomorrow. This has to be shrunk, stretched, and repaired. Luckily, this is just for me, and it's not a gift for somebody else. So we will survive. That's cute. I'm not that big of a heart person, you know, imagery wise. But I know that's going to look, that color is what I'm after. So it's just going to look pretty. But definitely not one of my better works. You would think I learned nothing. I think I saw something on Sly. Maybe it was excerpts from the doc on YouTube. YouTube's got a lot of stuff like that. Has anybody here seen Eric the Viking? Eric the Viking. Believe it or not, it had Mickey Rooney in it, playing a grandfather. We're going to have to do some repairs on that for sure. Luckily, it's just one solid color right there. So easy match. I gotta be more careful with that. I'm getting too rough. It's a gentle art. Stay gentle. But then I start acting like I've had a cup of coffee in my hands. Felt. No. Okay, that's the shrinkage I'd like to see right there. Everything starts getting wonky. Okay, we will have to continue this tomorrow. According to the clock, I have been here for over 2 hours. Nobody should have to listen to me for more than 2 hours. Okay, well, is it supposed to be cooler tomorrow? Anybody know? Storms are possible in Connecticut tonight. We are under an air quality alert until 11 p.m. We might get some storms at 8 o'clock tonight. Maybe. But at 9 o'clock, it'll still be 82 degrees here. Yeah, it looks like it's going to just be more tomorrow and then rain again later. So they say. Looks like next Wednesday and Thursday, rain, rain, rain. But you know how this weather system has been, we can't really be sure of anything. Oh, good. Good, you could use it for your garden. Well, the mouth went and did the watering for everybody today. So we appreciate that. Every time I go out to check my plants, they have enough water. And I chose plants specifically to be heat and drought tolerant. And it's getting water almost every day. It's like, I'm worried. Well, matter of fact, I stopped somebody from watering. It's like, you're watering it too much. I'm getting black spots on my leaves. Stop. Oh no. They just had a huge earthquake issue. Oh, that's terrible. They don't need any more problems. Well, you know, I said back in the 90s, I said, what we're going to be seeing if people don't turn the climate around or try and do something about the temperature rising, we're going to end up being immigrants in our own country. We're going to end up having to move. Like during the Kansas Dust Bowl, you know, there was no food. They couldn't grow anything. They had nothing but sand and bad weather. And they had to leave the state, wandering like the Jews in the desert. They had to go looking for another place to live. And climate migrants are going to be more and more common. You can't stay where you are because you can't live where you are. Temperature's going up too high, humidity's going up too high. People are more in danger with different kinds of problems like wet bulb disorder, which is fatal. I mean, there's all kinds of weird shit going on. And, you know, on one hand, you want to be alert about it so you know what to avoid, but you can't control everything. And hurricanes and stuff like that. I know very few people will agree with me on this, but I believe that the more anger and hate that is being propagated and encouraged, the higher the temperatures and more violent the weather is going to get. I feel like we are all creating our futures, and our emotions are behind that. So if we can't get ourselves chilled out, we're not helping anyone or anything. We have to learn to calm ourselves and not lash out and not be reactive. Or we're going to just keep bad things going. So see, for your own better health and better weather, you should get yourself mellow. Now I'm going to go and do that exact thing. I'm going to go make myself super mellow. make myself a cup of tea and decide what I want for dinner. I love my waffle maker, by the way. I've been making potato waffles, mashed potatoes. If you add a little bit of rice flour, which adds crispness to it, you get a nice crispy outside and potato pancakey inside. It's really good. Although I was making it with a lot of cheese and now I'm not allowed to, so onion, potato and onion waffles. And that, of course, look what time it is. It's 4:16. Let us go prepare for the holy hour. Okay, my darlings, I will see you tomorrow if you're around. I will finish these up tomorrow, but I want to do something else. We'll see. I have lots of ideas, but we'll see. So sweet dreams to all y'all, and please remember to do a thumbs up. I'll need it. I hate begging, but here on YouTube, we need that. So let me give you my aloha. Aloha. And da, 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 my strawberry like hearts. Okay, darlings. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I always look forward to seeing you. And until next time,